I'm sober now. So why do I feel worse? Why am I depressed and bored and jaded? Why do I feel like I'm drowning financially? Too scared to open bills and letters and too afraid to ask for help. I'm sober now, so why do I feel like nobody understands me and I can't connect to anybody? Why do I feel boring and bored and sad and out of the loop? Why can't I enjoy myself and be carefree and relaxed the way I was when I was drunk? What happened to my creativity? Why am I feeling so lazy and demotivated that I don't feel like I care about anything anymore? Why am I feeling so chronically tired and I just want to stay in bed for the whole day and not see anybody? But when I try and do that, I can't even sleep. I'm sober now. I'm supposed to be better. So why am I searching on Google in the small hours of the morning, desperately trying to find something to bring me sweet relief, a new philosophy, a new ideology, an online argument? I don't drink now, so why am I trying to figure out what's wrong with the world and all the people in it? Why am I trying to get myself diagnosed with ADHD, autism, or personality disorder? I didn't care about any of that when I was drinking. The truth is, problem drinkers drink for a very good reason. The trap the newly sober person falls into is that they get obsessed with trying to figure out the reason they drank. If they can only find the reason, fix the root cause, then they would never need to drink again. Sounds pretty logical, pretty rational, and pretty sensible to me. However, self-knowledge is a lifetime's work. And I'm here to invite you to gently gain that knowledge over a period of time. Here's the reason that slowing down may be beneficial. The energy of desperation, the energy of trying to grasp onto an elusive piece of dry land, is the same energy that you've been trying to escape from, out of the frying pan and into the fire, as it were. It may not be about concrete reasons, tangible diagnoses. It might be more about energy. What energy were you in when you were drinking? What energy were you in when you were craving a drink? For me, it was I just wanted to switch off. I just wanted to gain non-self-consciousness. I wanted a break from being so desperately self-conscious, that is, constantly being aware of and analysing my every move, thought, and sentence. Not compassionately and consciously, but critically and unconsciously. The flow state that I used to manage to get myself into when I was a kid, playing without a care in the world, forgetting who I was, identityless. That was the state that I was trying to recreate. And I could manage it when I was under the influence of alcohol. Who wouldn't want to feel like this? Why wouldn't I drink alcohol if this was the only way I could feel safe and accepting of myself? The flow state, the non-self-conscious state where you're engrossed in something, not thinking about your emotions and accepting exactly who you are in that moment. That's something that I wanted, and I didn't believe that I could get to it without alcohol. Somewhere along the way, I'd lost the ability to live in a conscious, non-self-conscious, present moment flow state where I felt safe and loving. And in trying to grasp the reasons why I was drinking to excess, all I was doing was residing in the same energy of I can't stop thinking and judging, totally critical of myself. When I stopped drinking, I still couldn't accept my own emotions. I still couldn't accept myself for my mistakes and shortcomings, or even just my personality. I still wasn't comfortable sitting in silence, all on my own, feeling sad, overwhelmed, completely helpless. I needed to escape from anything that felt bad. I needed to find out what was wrong with me. I hadn't changed anything. I was in the same hateful state towards myself, only this time without the booze, so now it felt unbearable. I couldn't switch it off. What was the answer? The answer was to go deeper into it. The answer was to be with myself and accept the rage, the sadness, the madness. the despair that underpinned all of these emotions, the chronic fatigue that was ruining my life. I had to be with all of it. I had to extend a loving hand to everything in my body, in my emotions, in my nervous system, in my memories that I wanted to erase. I had no choice. I was backed into a corner. I had to be with it all, no matter what. I was always hearing people saying that you just need to feel your feelings and accept them. Yeah, all right. I'm sitting with my feelings now and it feels awful and I hate it and I want to die. Now what? But sure enough, slowly, a bit at a time, I made a little bit more space for what was inside of me, and I realized that the chronic fatigue that sat right there on top of my deeper emotions was the part of me that had been telling me for years and years that I needed to slow down and be in the energy of acceptance. I realized that my life consisted solely of things that I didn't even want to be doing, things that didn't make me happy. My chronic fatigue was the part of me that was screaming, no, stop, this feels terrible. And because I didn't listen to this voice, it had gone into my body and started to make me feel ill, and it felt so terrible, but I was still trying to ignore it, still trying to push through, still trying to be motivated. My ever-present feelings of anxiety, I realized, was me fighting back against my fatigue, fighting back against the no. But this time I said, okay, hello, chronic fatigue. What are you doing here? What are you trying to tell me? And in the absence of resistance, the absence of anxiety, I realized that the fatigue wasn't as terrible as I thought. I let it be there. I invited it to stay. I moved through my day, being aware of my chronic fatigue, the thing that I'd normally try and get rid of with energy drinks, mindsets, overanalyzing what's wrong with me. I moved slower. I completed tasks under the blanket of brain fog. It didn't feel good, but I allowed it, so it kind of did feel good. It's a strange paradox. When you enter an energy of acceptance around your emotions, even the ones that are unbearable, like fatigue, or emotions that have shifted into the physical body, making you physically suffer, you find out that it's the resistance and the switching off to those things that actually feels worse than anything else. You experience those negative things anyway, but unconsciously, which brings anxiety along with it. I practiced experience negative emotions, negative energy, pain and chronic fatigue consciously instead. I consciously chose it, and I discovered that I could still do things, and I could still be happy, and I could still experience positive emotion. I could still connect with people whilst having those things there. I was now listening to this inner voice that had shape-shifted into chronic fatigue. I was able to choose what to do during the day that would also satisfy that voice or what was behind it. Truly energizing activities that allowed me to be in the flow state for a little longer. Just acknowledging that the chronic fatigue had a voice underneath it made things so much easier because it wasn't now compounded with the further fatigue and anxiety that the resistance would bring. I let myself fully feel the extent of my sadness and what I discovered to be the more surface emotions of confusion, anger, shame, and regret. Not only that, I accepted that they are there, and I understood with my newly gained knowledge that any form of resistance would mean I would still be experiencing those things but unconsciously, which is much more painful than consciously allowing them. I had a few good days, a few days where my energy level was high and my negative emotion was low. And then I had a day where I felt really, really bad again and really tired. I caught myself resenting that I was having a bad day and that those feelings and the tiredness were still there. Oh, those things are back today. Okay, you're welcome to be here. Are you trying to tell me something? Is there something I need to know? Nevertheless, I accept that you're here, and I can still get through the day with you here. And then it wasn't so bad. The truth is, I don't feel worse now that I'm sober. My emotions and feelings rose to the surface once I'd stopped completely shutting them off with alcohol. They became stronger and I felt them more, but I was still experiencing them largely unconsciously, so they were shrouded in shame, anxiety, and misunderstanding. Only now I could feel them more strongly and had to develop stronger defense mechanisms to keep them at bay. Things such as chronic fatigue, agoraphobia, and anxiety. I had to go the distance, bringing everything into the light and experiencing it consciously and with compassion. It's an ongoing tough grind, but the moments of connectedness with other people, oneness with creation, and unconditional self-love are the priceless rewards. Thank you.